Shall we start with Om and I'll start the chanting, meanwhile people will join? Shall I do the Om chanting?
Yes, we'll start.
Yeah, I'll see if I can. Okay, this is the third chapter. I don't have the Sanskrit version right now, but it's in English. Okay, so first we inhale, on exhale we chant the Om 3 times. Pause after the sound. Inhale and exhale, chant Om. Last round, inhale. Exhale, chant Om. I'll do the prayer. योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचां मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि आबाहुपुरुषाकारं शङ्खचक्रासिधारिणम् सहस्रशिरसं श्वेतं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिं श्रीमते अनन्ताय नागराजाय नमो नमः। अथ विभूतिपादः 3.1 देशबन्धः चित्तस्य धारणा 3.2 तत्र प्रत्ययैकता नता ध्यानम् तदेव अर्थमात्रनिर्भासं स्वरूपशून्यमिव समाधिः त्रयमेकत्र संयमः तज्जयात् प्रज्ञालोकः तस्य भूमिषु विनियोगः त्रयमन्तरङ्गं पूर्वेभ्यः तदपि बहिरङ्गं निर्बीजस्य व्युत्थाननिरोध संस्कारयोः अभिभवप्रादुर्भावौ निरोधक्षण चित्तान्वयो निरोध परिणामः 3.10 तस्य प्रशान्तवाहिता संस्कारात् 11 सर्वार्थतैकाग्रतयोः क्षयोदयौ चित्तस्य समाधिपरिणामः 12 ततः पुनः शान्तोदितौ तुल्यप्रत्ययौ चित्तस्य एकाग्रतापरिणामः 13 एतेन भूतेन्द्रियेषु धर्मलक्षण अवस्था परिणामाः व्याख्याताः 14 शान्त उदित अव्यपदेश्य धर्मानुपाती धर्मी 15 क्रमान्यत्वं परिणामान्यत्वे हेतुः 16 परिणामत्रय संयमात् अतीतानागत ज्ञानम् 17 शब्दार्थ प्रत्ययानाम् इतरेतरा ध्यासात् शङ्करः तत्प्रविभाग संयमात् सर्वभूतऋतज्ञानम् 18 संस्कार साष्टाकरणात् पूर्वजातिज्ञानम् संस्कार साक्षात्करणात् पूर्वजातिज्ञानम् 19 प्रत्ययस्य परचित्तज्ञानम् 20 न च तत्सालम्बनं तस्याविषयी भूतत्वात् 21 कायरूपसंयमात् तद्ग्राह्यशक्तिस्तम्भे चक्षुः प्रकाशासंप्रयोगे अन्तर्धानम् 22 सोपक्रमं निरुपक्रमं च कर्म तत्संयमात् अपरान्तज्ञानम् अरिष्टेभ्यो वा 23 मैत्र्यादिषु बलानि 24 बलेषु हस्तिबलादीनि 25 प्रवृत्त्यालोकन्यासात् सूक्ष्म व्यवहित विप्रकृष्टज्ञानम्. I'll stop here.
Namaste, I'm here. Just got it. Thank you. Seems to be perfect timing.
Kumarji, your voice is with echo.
My voice is echoing.
Yeah,
Then
it's
somebody
not
has
about
to.
echo.
Yeah, now how is it now?
Yeah, it's better than before. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you everyone for holding on. Let me share the screen. Okay. So last week we started with chapter 3, and we covered about 8 sutras, 8 sutras we covered. So we will quickly go through the sutras. So the very first sutra, actually in the first 3 sutras, is just defining the 3 states, the dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. These are the antaranga yoga parts, because that's what he is going to describe to us in this chapter. Because last chapter we finished with yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, and pratyahara, the 5 bahiranga yoga parts. That is, bahiranga is outside of us. So he says here, binding the focus in one place of the chitta is dharana. That's what we do, right? When we try to focus on something within the chitta, we are chanting a mantra or something, and we are putting our focus right there within the chitta. So that's what it is called. That's what is called dharana. So then he says dhyana is just um, a process where you're going from dharana to dhyan, meaning where there is a oneness in that conviction, in that focus. There is complete conviction, and the rest of the things, the whatever the chitta is doing, those are all gone away. In dharana, we are actually, the chitta is also actively bringing in some memory and all that, but we are trying to focus and focus and focus. In dhyana, the chitta has quietened down. And so there is complete oneness in conviction. That's what is dhyana. And when everything is voided, all the forms, everything is voided, then the experience of the inner understanding alone is samadhi. In samadhi, whatever questions we ask, those answers come back to us. All that is samadhi. So this is what we saw. And then in the following sutras, he described about something called samyama. There, samyama is the coming together of all the 3. That is dharana, dhyana, samadhi. So a new term which we should not forget, samyama. Samyama means you start with a mantra or some kind of a focus thing. And then from there you go into dhyana, and then from there we go into samadhi. So all 3 together are called samyama. Sometimes if you have a question, the question itself is the dharana part. That is the seed. And then from there, as you focus deeply and the chitta quietens down, you're in dhyana. And then as you go deeper into dhyana, the answers come back. That means you're in the samadhi part. So in the following sutra, he says, Tat Jayat Prajna Alokaha. So he says, when you're victorious in this process, when you're successful in this process, what happens? Prajna. Tat Jayat Prajna Alokaha. So the light or emanation of intuitive knowledge or prajna comes by this success of samyama. That's what he's saying. We know that, but when we are in the state of samadhi, the prajna, knowledge from the cosmos comes. We saw a sutra also, the tambra tatra prajna. That's what it says. From the cosmos, the knowledge comes. So in the next few sutras is describing that states. So here he says its application is within the each sphere or context or matter. So basically what he's saying is, if you are asking a question, the experience or the answer is in that sphere, in that context. So the next following sutra, in Sutra 7, he says the three are internal relative to the previous ones, the five aspects of the eightfold yoga. So he says Trayam Antarangam Purvebhyaha. So Purvebhyaha, he says, is with respect to the five earlier steps that we saw. That is Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, and Pratyahara. With respect to that, he says these are completely internal. So we know that already. By now we know all that. And he says, Tatapi Bahirangam Nirbijasya. In in chapter 1, we saw the state called Nirbija Samadhi. That is the last sutra in chapter 1. Tasya api nirode sarva nirodhat nirbija samadhi. That's what we saw. So the state of nirbija samadhi is when all the programs have ceased, have been put to rest. Everything. Only the connectivity part is there. So that is nirbija samadhi. So he says this samyama, dharana dhyana samadhi, is still external to that. So nirbija samadhi is higher than this. That's what he's saying. Any questions here before we start the new sutra? Okay. Sutra number 9, very important sutra. So let us see what it is. Vyuthana nirodha sanskarayoho abhibhava pradurbhavu nirodha shana chitta anvayo nirodha parinamaha. Vyutana nirodha sanskarayoho abhibhava pradurbhavu bhavau nirodha kshana chitta anvayo nirodha parinamaha. So he is going to explain a state called nirodha parinamaha. So let us see what it is. So the last word, if you take nirodha parinama, and we go back to here to see this, the meaning here, he says nirodha parinamaha. That is the result of restraint is or nirodha parinama. Right? So parinama means in this aspect, it is not transformation, it is the result of restraint. That's how we have to take here. I mean, the restraint is the nirodha, and the result is the parinama. The parinama is generally transformation, etc. Here it is more like the result. So nirodha parinama means result of restraint. Actually, restraint means nirodha. Nirodha is the restraint. So let us see what is nirodha parinamaha. What is this result of restraint? The result of the restraint is vyuthana, arising. Vyuthana means arising, coming up. Nirodha is restraint. Sanskarayoho, of sanskaras or impressions. So we know the sanskaras are klesha, karma, and vasana. And these are all actually called impressions. Nirodha sanskarayoho means by the restraint of sanskaras, by putting a lock on the sanskaras. Abhibhava pradurbhava, the created thoughts or patterns. Abhibhava pradurbhava, that's what it means. Vyutana, so putting all these things together. Vyutana nirodha sanskarayoho abhibhava pradurbhava. So the arising of thoughts created by the restraint of the sanskaras. So what are we doing by during dharana? We take a mantra or whatever, and we are focusing on that mantra. And while focusing on that mantra, what is happening is we are trying to quieten all the chitta vrittis, right? That's the main intent, the chitta vrittis. As the chitta vrittis as we try to quieten down the chitta vrittis, what's happening is because we are trying to quieten the chitta vrittis, something else arises from the chitta. That's what normally happens when we try to do something. Something else crops up, and then we ignore that. So the sanskar, the mantra will try to restrain that. In trying to restrain that, something else will crop up. When I say something else will crop up, it is like, your some itching in the body in some part you will feel, or some part might hurt, or there may be some other kind of physical thing that's happening to you, or it could be just limited to the psychological thought. So this is what we call as pradurbhava, durbhava. So something we are trying to do, and in opposition to that, something else comes up. So that's what he's saying. Vyuthana nirodha sanskara yogo abhibhava pradurbhava. So the arising of the thoughts created by the restraint of the sanskaras. The sanskaras themselves are the ones that are constantly causing the chittavrittis. And since we are trying to restrain them, it is causing something else. A little bit of issues it is causing. So that's what it is saying. Nirodha is restraint. Kshana is moment. Chitta, we know the program, the software, our software. Anvayo is association. Chitta Anvayo means association with the chitta. So Nirodha Kshana Chitta Anvayo. Restraint in every moment in association with the chitta. Or restraint of the momentary association with chitta. So the implication here is disappearance of all thoughts, even while being a pure observer in every moment. So we have now become an observer. So some part of the body is itching, we let it itch. Some is hurting, we hurt. Some other thought comes, we just let it go. We don't do anything to that. That's what he's saying. Just letting be with the chitta itself. So implication is disappearance of all thoughts, even while being a pure observer in every moment. So this is what we are calling as Nirodha Parinamaha. So let us see in summary what he says. So we are getting into dharana. So when the arising thoughts / disturbances created by the restraining sanskaras are also restrained, and so also the momentary association with the chitta, the result is total restraint of all thoughts. In other words, total restraint, nirodha parinama, comes when there is restraint of thoughts, that is the chitta vrittis, and being in the moment of the chitta, even after restraining the arising thoughts created by restraining the sanskaras. So some thoughts are coming. So those are also um, being restrained quietly by being with the chitta itself. So this is what is called nirodha parinamaha. So uh, so when we are unaffected by the programs within us, so when we are focusing on a mantra, and when we are unaffected by the programs within us, out of that is arising something. That is what is called as pradurbhava. In other words, we are unaffected by whatever is coming out, and as if you are one with the chitta, as if you are one with the chitta. That is, if you have to move your body, you move it, accepting everything as is. That state is called nirodha parinamaha. Whatever is happening, nothing affects you. If it is itching, it itches, so you scratch. If the body moves, you move. If the body wants to move to the right, you move. If you have to move the neck, you move the neck. So those kinds of things without complaining, you just do it like an automated uh, thing. So that's what is called Nirodha Parinama. With me, it's a slightly uh, difficult sutra. So basically, what we have to understand from that is when we go into this state, when we start doing the dharana. So these are the things, when we start with meditation, these are the things that are going to happen to us. But the best thing is to accept the fact that because we are trying to lock the chitta vrittis, the chitta vrittis don't like it. See, it's like, your child is uh, throwing a tantrum. The more you restrain the child, the more it'll throw up certain things. It'll throw something else, it'll say something else. So you have to accept all that. That's what he's saying. So is it clear as mud? Everyone is quiet. Any questions? Okay. Shall we move to the next sutra?
Kumar,
Hello? Yes.
give me a second.
Huh?
Good morning, everyone. It almost seems like
What is it?
it seems like chitta is like ego, right? Which we see that because when we quiet the ego, then we can also be in our connection, with our higher self, or with God, Nirbija. So I'm wondering. I don't want to like name it, but it does seem like karma, klesha, and vasana are ego. Those are components of ego. That's all.
I didn't catch what you're saying, Tammy. Say it again. What is ego?
And Kumar, you could put on the captions for the text, and then you can read along. Sometimes that helps if you put on the closed captions. I was saying, I wonder if chitta,
Hmm.
the karma, the klesha, and
Yeah.
vasana,
Yeah, those are the sanskaras.
right? That the samskaras are like our ego. It just occurred when you said how when we quiet all of that, we have our nirbija.
I-
So if we quiet our ego, then we have that. That's what I was saying.
No, nirbija samadhi is when you don't need a seed to start.
Oh, when you don't need the seed.
Yeah. You don't need a seed. You are always connected. That is nirbija samadhi.
Got it.
Here, the sutra, in Sutra 9, we are just starting how in a dharana to dhyana state, in a dharana state, how it will be. What are all things that you are going to experience when you're starting in dharana?
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you. I mean,
Hmm?
I'm good.
So, sir, in 3.9, it's like Nirodha Parinamaha and sorry, the
Nirodha parinamaha.
Vyutana
Yeah.
Samskara and Nirodha Samskara. It's like Vyutana Samskara is like restlessness or agitations, and Nirodha Samskara is like to be quiet or to control those. Uh,
Yes.
it's like we cannot
Anytime you see that,
control.
anytime you see this word nirodha,
Hmm.
nirodha means to control or restrain.
Restrain. So it's like we have to bring the mind to a habit rather than controlling. I'm thinking. So it changes the pattern. So always it has been used to these agitations, restlessness, reactivity, and all. And
Yes.
then we have to change the pattern. So at least if you are agitated or if you are angry, for example, just be calm or quiet for 2 to 3 seconds and do it consistently, and mind will follow that quiet moments. It forms a pattern. I'm just thinking though that that's how it transforms.
Uh, you're talking about one particular emotion. What
Mm,
I'm saying, what we are seeing here is how in dharana, when you're sitting for meditation,
mm,
okay, when you're sitting in meditation and you're focusing on a mantra, let us say Om, you're focusing on Om. Internally, you're saying Om, Om, you're uh, on the top of Sahasrara, you're focusing on Sahasrara chakra, and then you're saying Om, Om. Internally, you're chanting Om, Om.
mm,
So that as you do that, in effect, the chitta vrittis we are trying to control the chitta vrittis. That is the nirodha of the chitta vrittis, correct?
mhm. Yeah.
When you try to control the chitta vrittis have always been given so much, chitta has been given so much of freedom, and the chitta vrittis are constantly active, constantly they are created. So now you try to suddenly control it, it doesn't like it.
Yeah. True.
It's like any of us constantly, let us say, I like to go out every day, morning, afternoon, evening for a few hours, and suddenly a control is put on me that I should not go in the afternoon. I don't like it, correct?
Right. So it's like it
So,
should fade away.
huh?
Those. It's like we have. It should fade away. It's not. It's there and it's control. We are
Yeah.
controlling it. It
So
should
what if
like
you put a
fade.
what will happen if you put a control on me? I will to do something. What will I do? I will sit and I'll make I I will keep the TV on and make the volume very high. So that way people at home will get disturbed and say, okay, you can go.
Okay.
So what we are saying here is that is that pradurbhava that it will do.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So
Got it,
we
sir.
have to,
Thanks.
yeah. So we have to be patient with the pradurbhava.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
It's like taking a medicine, and the medicine has some side reaction. We have to put up with that. Something like that.
Makes sense, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any other question? Okay. Let's move on. Sutra 10.
Sorry, Kumar, I have one question.
Yeah.
Why did you say it is only dharana? It is actually all three together, right? Sanyama. It should apply up to all three states.
Actually, this sutra that we are talking about is when you are starting on dharana.
Okay.
Okay. See, when you are in samadhi, none of these things exist. With me, Mohan?
Yeah, got it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we discussed samyama, samadhi, and then he is coming back. That's what he normally does, right? He gives definition and then he will
Yeah,
explain
each
more.
one.
Yes. Now he has thrown a new term called Nirodha Parinama. So that's why he is explaining this Nirodha Parinama. Huh? That's what it is. So what comes out of this? Nirodha Parinama. Huh? So that's what he is saying in Sutra 10. Tasya prashanta vahita sanskarat. Tasya prashanta vahita sanskarat. Excuse me. So let us see what this is. Tasya, of that we know. So of that is of the previous thing that he is talking about. That is Nirodha Parinama. From Nirodha Parinama, what happens? That's what he's saying. It's Prashant, deep peace. Vahita, carrier. Prashanta Vahita is carrier of peace. Sanskarat, because of sanskara, by sanskara. So the carrier of the deep peace is because of the sanskara. What sanskara? It's not our sanskara, not our klesha karma and vasana sanskara. This peace has come from that mantra that you have chanted. And that mantra has created a new sanskara. Sanskara means a program, right? All this klesha karma, everything is programs. So a new sanskara has got created. And that sanskara has become the carrier of that deep peace, because now it is controlling the chitta vrittis. It has quietened the chitta vrittis, and it is also whatever the chitta vrittis, the pradurbhava, all that it has done over a period of time. We are saying for a period of time, everything is quietening down. Who has what? How did it quieten down? It is because of this that mantra that has created a new sanskara inside in the chitta. With me?
Yeah.
So that's why in chapter 1, the last two sutras, 150 and 151. In 151, he says, Tajjaha sanskaraha anya sanskara pratibandhi. Tajjaha. Again, he is referring to the previous sutra, where a new sanskara is created for the sake of for meditation. So he says tatjaha, from that sanskara, that is the new sanskara that is created. Tatjaha sanskara, tatjaha means new. Something is born. What is born? Sanskara is born. Sanskara is born because you went into meditation with the mantra or whatever. A new sanskara is born. And this sanskara, anya sanskara pratibandhi. It is locking down all the earlier sanskaras. That is our sanskaras, our klesha karma and vasanas. And by that, the chitta vrittis are also locked down, controlled. Because unless the kleshas, karmas are active, then the chitta vrittis don't happen. Because these are the triggers for that. Correct? With me, everyone? So there are two sanskaras that we are talking about. The new sanskara that has got created, and the old whatever sanskaras that we have on our own. So this sanskara, the new sanskara that has got created because of the mantra that we have started chanting for a period of time, it has created a new sanskara. That sanskara, that is the one which is the carrier of that deep peace. With me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Madhavi has understood. Everyone okay? Shall we move on?
Yes, Kumaji, yes.
Okay. Mohan got it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So think of it as our bag of programs, sanskar, our bag of programs. So all those programs have been locked down by who?
By another program.
Not by magic, by another sanskara. And this new sanskara, because it has locked down our bag of sanskaras, that peace has come. Okay. All right. So let us see. Uh, so because of the programs because of all the programs within, which acts as a carrier, the new sanskara, which acts as a carrier for the deep peace within. So Nirodha Parinama is the state of dhyana. So when Nirodha Parinama has happened fully, so this is the state of dhyana. See, that's why these boundaries are very flowing boundaries. So initially we are struggling with the pradurbhava and all that. And now that when the quietness comes, as soon as we start, very quickly we are able to get into that quietness, then we know that we are from dharana, we have gone into dhyana. With me? I have some notes. I'm going to read these notes. Maybe it will help. In meditation, the entire body may vibrate. When we say vibrate, don't think that externally everything will move in the body. When we say the entire body may be vibrating, means internally you will feel the vibrations running. Okay. Or part of the body might feel differently. Some part might feel cold, some might feel tight, some might feel suddenly loosened, somewhere something might feel warm. So all these things are happening when we are doing this meditation. This is with reference to the earlier sutra 3.9. When you are unaffected by those also, you completely zone out. So when you're unaffected by all these things that are happening, you completely zone out. This is a state of dhyana. This is the Nirodha Parinama. So what does dhyana do? Our regular practice has created a new program. So the new program is what is called as the new sanskara. That's what he says here in Sutra 10, the sanskara. Our regular practice has created a new program within, and that new program, whatever mantra, whatever we use, whatever point of focus that we use, that becomes the trigger for us to go into a state where nothing affects us. Okay? So this should be Nirodha Parinama. And what Nirodha Parinama has done to us, it has brought in that quietness. So if when Nirodha Parinama is fully in us, then we understand that we have gone into dhyana. So then what happens? Sarvartat ekagratayoho kshaya udayau chittasya samadhi parinamaha. So now he is going to explain samadhi parinam. Samadhi parinam. Earlier we saw 2 sutras back, we saw Nirodha Parinama. Now he is explaining Samadhi Parinama. Sarvartat ekagratayoho kshaya udayau chittasya samadhi parinamaha. So let us see. So let's take the last word samadhi parinamaha, and if we look here, samadhi parinamaha results in samadhi, right? Cosmically connected awareness is samadhi parinam. So we know in samadhi we get connected to the cosmos, to the divine, whatever you want to call it. So sarvartat, in every sense, in all sense of everywhere, in complete meaning, all these various things are there. Ekagratayoho, of one pointedness, of oneness. The ekagratayoho. Ekagratayoho. Ekagratayoho, of one pointedness. So taking both the words together, sarvartat ekagratayoho, complete understanding in one pointedness. That's what it means. Complete understanding or complete involvement in one pointedness. Kshaya udayau, of waning and waxing. Kshaya udayau. Udayau means rising. Kshaya means waning. So waning and waxing. Chittasya, of the chitta. What is waning and waxing? The chitta is waning and waxing. Is samadhi parinamaha. So he's saying in samadhi parinamaha, the chitta is waning and waxing. Earlier, when we were trying to get into state of dharana, then also the chitta was waning and waxing, but it was more like waxing and waning down, and waxing and waning down. So the oscillations were very high. It is active and then it goes into active, goes down a little bit. Active, very highly active, then goes down. That's how it is. That's how the chitta vrittis, the chitta is active that way. Now he's saying it is waxing and waning in such a way where the waxing is a little, it goes up a little bit and it comes down a little bit. Goes up a little bit, comes down a little bit. Very little variation. Like the waves, very high waves, or it could be just very small ripples. So in the state of samadhi parinamaha, it is ripples, very light, small ripples, as if it is like we have gone into a state of hibernation. So, in the state of hibernation, even even with respect to a computer, the state of computer, it is still drawing some power. It's not that it is not drawing, but it is very little power it is drawing. Very little activity to keep everything running. That's why we say hibernation. How animals go into hibernation. Their breathing becomes shallow. I mean, not, I mean, very, very, very low, very, very slow breathing. It is not hyper, very, very shallow. That's what we call as a hibernation. So this is, let us see in summary what he says here. So from the waning and waxing chitta, the oneness in every sense, complete understanding results in samadhi. When that condition has come, this results in samadhi, meaning the connectivity with the divine is with the cosmos is taking place. So I also have some notes. Let me see what I have written. So in every sense, in the state where it becomes still, because of the activation and deactivation, that is the chitta becomes still at this point because it very little ripple. When I say ripple, very, very tiny. So it is almost as if it is still. The chitta becomes still at this point, and at that time, in every sense, with that one-pointed focus, you reach the state of samadhi parinama. Sarvartha means that is we have connected into the cosmic intelligence. But if you have placed a question, the answer has not yet come. Okay, is this clear? Here the waxing and waning that he talks about, meaning light, very tiny ripples that he's talking about, and almost non-existent. You cannot even see that ripple, that kind of waxing and waning. The chitta has fallen silent, and all my participants have also fallen silent. Good. So everyone has gone into some samadhi parinama. Hopefully, I have not put all of you into sleep.
We are awake, sir.
Okay, good. Any questions? I mean, these are, I think, sutras that, based on what we have understood, should be easy. So we'll move on to the next sutra. Tata punaha. Tataha punaha. Tataha punaha means saying it again. That's what it means. Or doing it again. Or then again. Whatever it means. Shant udithau. Tulya pratyayau. Chittasya ekagrata parinamaha. So we started with nirodha parinamaha. Then we came to samadhi parinamaha. Now the third one he is defining is ekagrata parinamaha. Okay. So the way we have to understand is if we have a question, that is when we do when Sammima is done, Nirodha Parinamaha is where we ask a question. That is the question, that is the seed. Nirodha Parinama. Then comes Ekagrata Parinama, Samadhi Parinamaha. In Samadhi Parinamaha, we let go of the question. We become one with the question and we let go of the question. So let's see what happens in Ekagrata Parinama. Once again, we see the last word, Ekagrata Parinamaha. Ekagrata is one-pointedness or oneness. Parinamaha is result. So, Tataha Tataha, then Punaha is again. Punaha means again, actually. Then again, that's what it means. Shanta Uditav, waning and waxing, fading and rising. Tulya Pratyayav, comparable beliefs or convictions. Chittasya, of the chitta, is one-pointedness or oneness. So, in summary, he says, then again, when the fading and arising states of the chitta look comparable in state, the result is oneness or one-pointed. So, when the ripples have come down to that level, then again, when the fading and rising states of the chitta look comparable in state, the result is oneness or one-pointedness. So that's what he is calling as Ekagrata Parinamaha. So let us move on. Any questions here? So this is the stage where we are getting answers to the question. The answer is as if the reflection of the chitta from the state of being in supreme peace. So in Ekagrata Parinamaha is when we are getting the answer to our question or any experience as part of the question. So all these things are happening, and that is why the chitta is waning and waxing to give that experience. When the experience is happening, obviously it's going to have waning and waxing. So this is, and it is happening in that one-pointed focus. That's why it is called Ekagrata Parinama. The result, Parinamaha, the Parinama is result. So the result of one-pointedness. Will we move on? One more sutra? Or probably we should stop here. It's already 7:58. And let me see. Yeah, next is a slightly bigger sutra. I don't want to get into it now, right now. I'll stop here. Any questions? Any questions?
Sir, oneness means, for example, I'm doing Om meditation.
Yeah,
Om is kind of like Om is a sound of the universe or cosmic, they say, right?
correct.
So oneness means we become Om.
You become one with Om. Yes.
Mhm.
That is the full focus, fully in Om.
Okay, so the chitta
You,
doesn't
you,
have
hmm?
anything to do other than Om.
What are you saying?
At one point of time, chitta has nothing to do other than Om. It just
Yes,
come to one point,
yes.
just Om.
Actually, in chapter 1, we saw a sutra where a bunch of sutras were there. Okay, where we said, how can we reach the state of samadhi? And we discussed various things. And then in one part of the uh, practice, or one part of how we can get there, one type or one process or one way is, he says, Ishvara Pranidhanatva, by surrendering to the divine. And then he explains who the divine is. And he says that divine is, I don't know if you all remember, there were about set of 6 or 7 sutras. So I'm just reviewing that for you so that you can connect to that. We called it as the Bhakti Yoga part in chapter 1. So he says, who is that? I say, when Patanjali Muni says, Ishvara Pranidhanatva, by surrendering to the divine, then he has to define who that divine is. I know Mohan and Usha have to leave. You can leave anytime, Mohan. You don't have to let me know. You can just go. They've already left. That's fine. Oh, there is something on the chat. So now let me look at it. Yeah. Okay. That's what. So let me stop the share so that I can see all of you. Okay. So he says Ishvara Pranidhanatva, and then he says Klesha Karma Vipaka Ashehi Aparamrishtaha Purusha Vishesha Ishvara. So he is defining who that Ishvara is, to whom do we surrender? Ishvara. That Ishvara is Klesha Karma Vipaka Ashehi, one who is beyond Klesha Karma Purushani. He is a special Purusha. That special Purusha is that Ishvara. That's what the line is saying. The sutra is saying. Okay. And then he says, Tatra, there, Niratishyam Sarvajna Tattva Bijam. There, in Ishvara, Niratishyam Sarvajna Tattva Bijam. The source, Niratishyam is source, the source of all knowledge. Sarvajna, Jnana, complete knowledge. Tattva Bijam, the seed of all that, the source is that Ishvara.
Okay.
And then he follows up saying, Sa Esha Purvesham Apiguruhu Kalena Anavachedat. He is this he. Who is this he? That Ishvara. Sa Esha. Esha means he, referring to the previous one. When somebody is very close, we say Esha. If he is a man, we say Esha. So Sa Esha Purvesham Apiguruhu. From the past to the present to the future, everywhere. Purvesham Api Guruhu. He is the Guru of all Gurus. The meaning, he is the only Guru. He is the only real Guru. Kalena Anavachedat. Uninterrupted by time.
No time. Like no time
Uninterrupted by
dimension.
time. From the time we know, from the time this creation came in until today. That's all we know. And in the future also, that he has not said there in the sutra, but that's what we deduce. The only Guru is Ishvara.
Okay. He
Okay.
has all the knowledge.
Yes. So that's what he's defining Ishvara. Who's that Ishvara? This is that Ishvara. And then he says, Tasya Vachakaha Pranavaha. His language is, what does he speak? He speaks the language of Pranava. Pranava is that Om.
Mm.
Because you said Om meditation, I brought this up so that it means makes some sense. We
Yes.
covered all the sutras in chapter 1. Many of you might have forgotten. That's okay. Tasya vachakaha. Vachakaha means speaking, right? Tasya vachakaha. He speaks. What is this he speak? He speaks the uh, knowledge. He speaks the language of Om, the sound of Om.
Mm.
Tat japaha tad artha bhavanam. When you do japa on Om, then you understand the meaning of not only Om, the meaning of Ishvara. That is, the connectivity comes to you.
Got it.
Tat
Okay.
japaha tad artha bhavanam.
Okay. So with this Nirbija Samadhi, we also become Ishvara ourselves. With this I mean, after Samadhi, and there is a Nirbija Samadhi, right? So
No,
the
we have not come to Nirbija Samadhi yet.
correct. But the
Ekagrita
Ishvara,
parinamaha we saw. Ekagrita parinamaha. That's
yeah.
what we saw.
So
So
the
there we
whole
get
point
connected.
is becoming Ishvara ourselves.
See, it is not. See, when you say becoming Ishvara ourselves, we are already Ishvara.
It's just realizing it.
Only thing is, only when will we be really Ishvara is when we have this connection always. Otherwise, we can be Ishvara. When we connect, we will be Ishvara. Because when we connect, we get all. It's like, I am having a lamp here. When I connect to, when I put the plug in, and the light comes on. So I am connected to the electric source, like that. So when we are connected, at that time we are Ishvara. Right? And then when we come out, we are no longer Ishvara.
Yeah, I mean.
So we can be on and off Ishvara. On demand Ishvara.
Got it.
Could it be that children up to age of 7,
Yes.
they are still in touch with Ishvara?
Correct.
And they do it without effort. It's automatic. And maybe what I'm hearing now, description of the meditation, I see that I had that quite often when I was little. So I remember when my mother was into my knowledge, how I justified that she was cruel to me, I would sit down and ask, why is she doing that to me? And the answer would come, because she is unhappy. And I would ask, why is she unhappy? Because she hasn't got a husband.
She hasn't got a?
She hasn't got a husband. He died in car accident.
Oh.
So that's why she's doing that. And that is happening even now in my life. Without sitting down and trying to get rid of chitta-vritti and the whole process, I often have that. And often without asking question. I ask question maybe yesterday or day before yesterday, and I just get the answer. But I remember I don't talk about it, because when I was like that, questioning her inwardly why, she called me stupid. Oh, you look stupid. You are really stupid. That was very unkind, but I knew I should not answer that. I kept it to myself. And when later I shared that with my sister, explaining to her what is my mother doing to me, she left her alone. She cannot do wrong. So I told my sister about that, and she says, that's not normal. I don't believe you. Therefore, I shut up forever. No more. I'm talking now because I'm getting explanation what is happening. What was happening also in my life.
Yes. See, that is why this when we study these sutras, I am constantly going back to chapter 1, because chapter 1, we said introductory chapter, correct? We said introductory chapter. And then we said, uh, and the chapter was called Samadhipada, right? Which means the idea of the entire presentation is to get into Samadhi. Otherwise, why would you start with Samadhipada? The idea of the entire thing is of yoga is to be in Samadhi, right? Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. That's what we said. Up front, he said that in chapter 1, second sutra. He says, Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. And then he follows with 2 sutras. Tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam vritti sarupyam itaratra. So these 3 sutras, 2, 3, and 4 in chapter 1, completely gives, it's actually the executive summary. We saw that. That's the executive summary. So he says, Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. When you are in a state of yoga, when you say yoga, yoga means the chitta vrittis nirodha. Chitta vrittis are controlled, completely controlled and quiet. Quiet. Yoga does not mean like what people normally think, being in some posture, becoming a pretzel. That's not yoga. That is part of yoga. Yes. It is hatha yoga, part of yoga. The real yoga is chitta vritti nirodha, without being affected by the chitta vrittis, being in peace. Tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. When you are in that state, when you are in yoga, tada drashtuhu swarupe, you are in reality. Reality. You become a complete observer. You are an observer at that time. You only observe things. You are not reacting. You are seeing your true self. What is your true self? You are that Ishvara. You are that Ishvara. Each one of you is an Ishvara. And see the blessing for me. I am speaking to 26, 27 Ishwaras every week. And see the blessing for me. And I have to tell these Ishwaras, you are really Ishvara. Please believe that you are Ishvara. And I have to tell myself also, I am also Ishvara. So, tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. That's what we are. We are Ishvara. When will we know that we are Ishvara? Only when yoga chitta vritti nirodha. When that's what we saw today, right? We saw all this. Nirodha parinamaha, ekagrata parinamaha. Then finally we came to samadhi parinamaha. Finally we come to samadhi parinama. In samadhi parinama, we are getting the answers. From where? From that Ishvara. Because in ekagrata parinamaha is when we made that connection and we became Ishvara. Instantly we became Ishvara. So we have that potential. All of us have that potential. Nobody needs to tell you that. Nobody needs to give you that. You don't have to have big educational qualification for that. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be a CEO of a company. You can have zero money and the connection, and you can become a Ishvara. You can be a Ishvara. You can continue to be a Ishvara by getting into the state of Nirbija Samadhi. Everything is there. In Christianity, they say, right? What is it? Ask, what, knock and you will be given. What is it? I forget. One of you should be able to tell me.
Ask and you shall receive. Like,
Huh?
ask and you shall receive. Jesus says the key, or those who knock will be let in.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah. Ask me and it will be given, right? It's something like that. Ask me and it will be given. So here that asking is good. What asking? Asking for that connectivity. Not asking for money. Not asking for all my problems to get resolved. No. Asking for that connectivity. When we say, when I say that we become Ishvara in that connectivity, we are going to see in the next week how, when that answer comes, what kind of characteristics it will have, and in that connectivity, what we are going to enjoy in that connectivity, what kind of a responsibility we are going to have in that connectivity. It will be so revealing that we won't even remember to say, oh, I need $1,000. I don't have that money. I need $1,500 or 2,000. We will be completely devoid of all that because the chittavrittis are quieted down, right? So it is not only the chittavrittis do that. When the samskaras have died down, it is not going to ask anything. It will only be asking about various things, about the things that we don't know about the cosmos, about our previous birth, etc., about somebody's issues. Because when you are connected, you can look at anything and everything that you want. Any questions? A good question, very good question, Shruti. From home, we went a long way back.
Yeah. And
We did a waxing and waning. We went back, we came forward, we went back, came forward. So this is what the chitta also does, right? Waxing and waning. So here what we also have to understand is this mantra. When you say mantra, that mantra produces electromagnetic vibration. And the chitta is also electromagnetic vibration. Everything. When I say chitta, I'm talking about all the the samskaras, everything. I'm talking everything. All of them exist as electromagnetic vibrations inside. That is the software part of us. This hardware is, for us right now, is meaningless. That's why we don't talk about the hardware. The only thing we talk about the hardware is it has to breathe, it has to stay in place, it has to be quiet, meaning without pain when you're sitting and meditating, right? Only to that extent. So, I lost my thought. Let me get it back. What did I want to say?
You were on
In that mantra,
mantra.
electromagnetic vibration I was talking.
Yeah.
So this mantra, unfortunately, Mohan is left. This electromagnetic vibration, some of you have done higher level mathematics, would have done something called Fourier analysis. There was a person called Fourier analysis. So he says that any kind of wave pattern, it can be a square wave, it can be a rectangular wave, it can be a pulse, whatever. He says everything can be reduced to a sine wave. A bunch of sine waves, he says, if you put a bunch of sine waves, it can create a square wave. A bunch of sine waves can create a rectangular wave. I mean, with different amplitude, with different frequency and all that. So these, when I say sine wave, it is nice and curved, nice like this, just like how we see waves in the ocean. That is the sine wave. So not only one wave, there will be multiple waves of different frequencies, everything. When you put that's why it says harmonic. Harmonics. You have heard of harmonics, right? Harmonics means sine wave with multiple different frequencies all put together. So he says any wave, given any wave pattern, he says with the formula that he derived, you can create, you can split it into sine waves. So why I said that was this mantra, what it does is, it is so smart that the chittas are all of different wave patterns, different waves. So the mantra splits all this, it understands all these chitta vrittis, chitta patterns, the samskaras, they're all in different, with vibrating in different frequencies, different waveform. So like Fourier, it breaks into waveforms, and this mantra that you're chanting internally creates a equal and opposite wave to null all those things. That is how it locks it down. How smart. So that's what it does. So the more you focus, that's what it will do. And when it nulls everything, in that there is a resultant energy that rises, and that energy is through the Sahasrara chakra, goes out, and that's how the questions that we place go out and the answers come through. So there is mathematics also here to understand. Padma asked Ganapati Ram about Fourier analysis. We did this in MIT. If you say, yeah, Fourier analysis, Fourier.
Okay, I'll ask him.
Yeah. And if he says, what?
Yes,
Fourier? Tell
yeah.
him, Kumar says that we did in MIT. So now you teach me how about this Fourier.
Yeah, definitely I will ask. I was about to thinking the same thing. I have to ask him.
Yes.
Because I'm zero in that.
We did Fourier analysis in the second year. I remember very well. So
okay.
Most likely he has forgotten, because I have been in this line for a while. So I recollected a lot of things. So if he thinks about it, he will recollect. Or he might tell you right away, yes, I remember.
At least he can bluff.
So that's why I gave you a little bit of more information. Then you should ask him, what is Fourier analysis? What does Fourier analysis do? What does it do? Okay.
Otherwise, he will do research and tell me what is that.
Bring him here.
Sure. He's almost sits here along. He is not seen in the screen, but he also listens to it. Yeah.
He's listening?
Yeah. Right now he's not there, but most of the time he sits.
Oh, very good. Very nice. I am very honored.
He also comes. Sometimes we discuss about it, but we are not deep into the subject. So we are trying to understand.
So that's why I'm bringing all these old things, even though that's how we have to connect back to chapter 1. This connection is very, very important. how beautifully everything is laid out. Only then there's beauty. You have to see this beauty in this sutras. I don't know how to express this.
Maybe slowly I will try to understand things
Huh?
better way. More,
Yeah.
more into deep into it. Just trying to understand things.
In the night, sometimes, suddenly I'll wake up around 2 o'clock in the morning. Actually, this morning I woke up around 2. And for a while, I couldn't fall asleep. So what I do, I start chanting the sutras. I said, I have memorized only up to uh, chapter 2, half of chapter 2. So I will go through the entire chapter 1, and then I will go through the entire chapter, half of chapter 2, and some sutras here and there in chapter 2 toward the towards the later part of chapter 2, I remember. So those things I will chant. I'll do the same thing again and again. And then suddenly, I will stop in one sutra and I will start thinking about that sutra. Oh, how beautifully this word is placed here. So, the more you get into this, then it's easy to connect back to chapter 1 and see beautifully how beautifully he has zoomed out in chapter 2 and chapter 3, the same sutras, he has zoomed out. He has given a much bigger view so that we understand. Then it becomes more of a storytelling rather than just, saying word by word meaning and just walking away. It becomes a storytelling. So it has to become a real storytelling. That's where Tammy is going to do the work. Right, Tammy? Yes. Where it becomes so very easy to understand. She's going to come with nice figurines, and the figurines will give a story, little stories.
We'll call them critters.
Huh?
We're going to call them critters, like a little
critters.
critter.
Okay,
Yeah,
critter.
we'll call them a critter.
Oh.
Yeah. I know. Those are so cute. I know.
Yeah. Sanskara critters, Klesha critters, Vasana critters, all those. So she's going to do all that. So instead of saying, program, we'll say critter at some point of time. The moment we say avidya critter, you immediately the picture comes right in front of you, you know what it is. Then it becomes very, very easy to relate to all these things. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do. So we cannot wait until the work gets completed. So we have to go with what we have already. What I'm saying is, Dr. Rajan has already provided a very beautiful summary of the sutras, word by word, then a summary and explanation, etc. Now it has to come in picture form. All those things will happen for a period of time. It will happen.
Kumarji, I have a question.
Yes.
When you did this POS for the first time, were you able to get the connection of the sutras, or did it take multiple?
No, I didn't. First time it was a big flop.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a huge flop because I was already at that time I already had a guru. I mean, not that the guru prevented me from understanding it in full, no. But I heard from the guru certain things. So my mind was more oriented towards that. So when the sutras came, And the knowledge that I had based on whatever my guru taught me, and he did not teach Patanjali Yoga Sutras, he taught in general.
Okay.
More of his teachings were in terms of J. Krishnamurti's teachings, and adequate from our scriptures also, mainly Bhagavad Gita and some of the Upanishads and things like that he would give. And he was very well read in Bhagavad Gita. If I am not wrong, he has read that Bhagavad Gita 100 times.
Oh.
Okay. Yes. But despite all that, he was very too deep into J. Krishnamurti's teachings. And that's why he brought J. Krishnamurti's teachings to the class. Probably for whatever reasons, it is. He thought that is the best way to go about it, because J. Krishnamurti's teachings is fully focused on suffering of human beings. And human beings suffer all the time, right? And J. Krishnamurti's teaching is only this. If you ask him about God, immediately, or if you ask him about Samadhi state, he'll say, first, let us talk about your suffering.
Oh, okay.
Let's fix that first. And then the rest of the things will happen. Very prophetic. Very right. But if you keep on saying only that and nothing else, it becomes not that. There were many things, many lessons and things like that. So with all that, and my earlier guru had also written books on astrology. He is also an astrologer, Vedic astrologer. By profession, he is a nuclear scientist. He is a PhD in nuclear science. And he worked in Germany as a research scholar, postdoctoral research he did. And while doing that, he had this inner calling, so he came back to India and he gave up everything about his field of professional field and plunged fully. He was only about 32, 30, somewhere between 32 and 35. When he plunged fully into into the spiritual area. See the guts. He didn't come into the spiritual area to make money. Even today, he is not making money. He's just surviving. That's it. But he doesn't care about that. But so when these sutras are presented by Dr. Rajan, I constantly fought with him, whichever I could not accept. Because my guru, this karma theory and all, he did not dwell deeply into that at all. Because J. Krishnamurti's teaching has nothing to do with karma. So it will only say you are suffering. So the understanding that suffering is coming from karma, that is not there, because J. Krishnamurti has no Vedic background, no scriptural, Hindu scriptural background. He was coached and trained by two American spiritualists in India. You heard of Theosophical Society, right? In Adayar?
Blavatsky.
Gayatri?
No.
You have not heard of Theosophical Society?
No.
Adayar? Okay.
No, I don't.
Shruti, have you?
Sir, I have heard of Theosophical Society, but I don't know whether it's in Adayar. I don't know. I just know this.
Okay.
We have a branch of Theosophical Society in Bristol, in England.
Yeah.
And I used to be a member years ago.
Mm.
Then I stopped, and I went last week, and it was really happy meeting. Those people are on the same wavelength as we are. So there is one, but there's not many members, mostly older people.
Okay.
Still, it's nice. People understand what I say instantly. It's a real joy. And I'm going next Tuesday again. I booked already, so it's, yeah, we do have it.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So, so in the first, anyway, coming back to my first exposure to Patanjali Yoga Sutra, because I didn't have any background on karmas and things like that, or whatever I heard. Uh, my guru did not believe in individual karma. Believe meaning he never stressed on that. He'll always talk about community karma, country karma, and all that. And there was no uh, uh, foundation on that at all. And there's a lot of sutras on this, so I'm constantly fighting with all that. Many things I could not accept. So, so I got less than 15-20% understanding.
Okay.
And you have not attended Dr. Rajan's class. If you attend Dr. Rajan's class, generally he will go quite fast. Meaning, he will wait. He will wait for the participants to ask. Unlike me, I mean, we should not compare. So he will expect the participant. You ask him 10 times, he will answer. He won't say, "Oh, you're not understood." He will never say that. He will try to give different examples and try to get you to understand. But you have to ask that question. See, I come with the premise into this class that my participants will not ask me questions. I have to make sure that each and every word that I say has gone into their head. That is how I come. Each is different, right? Each teacher is different. So we have to respect for them for that. So in the first class, I mean, he went at his own speed. In 2 days, he covered the entire, all the 196 sutras. That is about 15-16 hours time. He covered the entire thing. And I probably got less than 15%. About 15% maybe I understood. This was in 2015 or 16. So it didn't make any impression on me, excepting I was teaching Hatha Yoga at that time. So I could go and flaunt Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So now that I have really have the text and answer and a few sutras following that, so I could do that in my yoga classes. I could do that. That's all it did to me, nothing more. And I understood a few samadhi states and names and things like that. We can go to that samadhi, this samadhi, all that. How, a person who has absolutely no knowledge speaks. I was doing. And in my second class, which was in 2020, at the time I had a need. I was in a crisis and I had a need to understand because my guru could not help me. I mean, whatever he tried to help was not enough to get me out of the crisis. So nothing wrong with him. I could not benefit out of what guidance he gave me. I could not benefit out of that. And that's when the second class happened. In the second class, I would say, because this time I was open. I had a crisis. I was open because what I had known did not help me. I was open. So now I probably got 50% understanding of Patanjali.
Okay. If you itself
Then
got 50%, then I don't know like what level I will be in this session. No, you itself got 50% by now. That's what you're saying, right?
No. Then I attended again.
Okay, second.
The third Patanjali Yoga Sutra class, that was in the same year. Sometime it started in November. That's the class that Tammy was in. So by the time between the first and the third, I mean, not the first, between the second and the third, about 4 or 5 months gap was there. That 4 or 5 months I had done some work, I had studied, because this time the second time I had understood 50%, right? So, and I was attending regular yoga classes. So I would ask here and there some questions I will ask during the regular yoga class, or during the, sometimes there will be some special sessions and all that. So in the third, when the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the third session when I attended, this time I knew how to prepare for the class, how to be ready for the class, and how to get the maximum out of the class. All three things I knew.
Do you have
I,
any any suggestions from that for us?
so that's what I'm. So I would attend the class with. I mean, Dr. Rajan would generally do about 20 minutes every day. Every day, the 20 minutes he will do about easily 5 to 6 sutras, easy. Sometimes even 8 sutras he will do.
Oh, that's very fast then.
So 25 minutes class, he will do that. And what I will do is next day, the recording will be on the YouTube. So I will spend 3 hours every day going back and forth on the recording. And he would have explained each and every word, and he would have given the summary, he would have given some example. So in the class, I would understand that sutra, but then I wouldn't know how to connect. So next day when I spend this amount of time, easily 3 hours, I will write down. That's how these notes, some of these things that I read today is from some of those notes. I will write down all those things, each and every word, meaning for each. And we didn't have this text at that time, which I'm sending you. Each and every word by word thing was not there. Only the text that I have given all of you, that PDF.
Okay.
Where it is, for each sutra, there's only a line of summary, right? There is no word by word meaning.
Yes.
That's all we had. So for word by word meaning I had to write. So while listening to the recording and in the class, I would have written, and some words I would have missed in the class because in the rush. And I wouldn't want to stop and ask him, can you tell me the meaning again? So but I have understood the sutra, so I will say, okay. But then in the next day, going back and forth, I'll write down the meaning of each and every word, and then the summary, and then some extra things. All these things I will do. And then I will write down what I have not understood. So there will be another 5 or 6 or 10 questions that I will have. So that evening, that the next day's evening class, he will always review like what we do here. He'll do a quick review before he goes in, and then he will ask, are there any questions from the previous day? I will be the first one to put up my hand. And I'll one question by question I'll ask him, and he will patiently answer. If I don't understand, I'll ask him again. And come sometime 2 or 3 times I'll ask, and then he'll explain 2 or 3 times, and then he'll say, "Oh, why don't you do this? Let us go forward with if you have any other question." And maybe at the end I will give some more examples or whatever he will say. So Tammy was in the class, and and every day I will bombard him with questions every single day. There was not a day that passed without Kumar asking questions. So I did that for for all the 196 sutras. I did that. So by the end, I was about 70 to 75% to 80%, I would say, somewhere between 70 to 80%, I had grasped. Then another 20%, I sat after the class was over, after the entire thing was over, I would ponder and ponder and ponder. I will have this question. So I will write to Dr. Rajan by email, and then he will come back. So all these things happened, and after about 2-3 months after that, after I attended, one day suddenly the clarity came. Suddenly it came. The clarity came, and then I could not sit. I wanted to talk.
So you are.
Then I caught hold of about very sincere 5 or 6 of my Hatha Yoga students. I said, I am going to teach Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and this is the basis for all the Hatha Yoga that I have taught. And so all of you have to attend my class. Those, those, those friends of mine, they are very nice people. So they had no choice. They said, okay. And they would come every Saturday or Sunday like this. Not at 7 a.m. I used to start at class at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Oh my God.
Even the earlier classes I used to do at 6 o'clock in the morning. 6 to 8 I used to do for them, 6 to 7:30 maybe. So as I was doing this class for them, there are things which came to light to me, meaning there are things that I didn't know when they would ask a question. Or I would prepare for the weekly class. Then I would suddenly come to a point where, oh, how is this? How is that? So then I will ask Dr. Rajan, or I will go back to my notes. If it is not there, I will ask Dr. Rajan. Or if there is a question in the class that I'm unable to answer, I will take that, come back, sit, and maybe I will find the answer by myself or send it to Dr. Rajan. This is how I do it. There was a lot of effort.
Yes, really.
Even today, I'm a student. Even today, I'm a student. That's why I told you that I'm memorizing all the sutras, so it becomes very easy for me. Like today, when Shruti asked me, I know how I can refer to all that right away. She said Om, and then I could give about 6 or 7 sutras. I could say and give the meaning and define Ishvara. No, I can always go back in the book to show all that. But if I know by memory, makes it a lot more easier. And then, like I said, there are a lot of benefits. It is like sloka. How you chant sloka, same thing for me, nothing different.
Okay.
If, like I said, if in the middle of the night I cannot fall asleep, I'll start chanting this. I'll keep on chanting at some point, internally, not loudly. Internally, I'll be chanting. Some point of time, I'll fall asleep. For many benefits.
Yes.
In the satsang last week, I was saying, while walking, I chant and walk. So, what suddenly I realized, like how in the Hindu tradition that we do this punya vachakam. Punya vachakam means cleansing after any event. Before we do any event, we do some cleansing. Any religious ceremony, we do a cleansing. Or this particular punya vachakam ceremony is done after there is any after there is some say death in the house or those kinds of things. After that, this punya vachakam is done. Or before you enter a new house, you do this punya vachakam to cleanse the house before you enter. Similarly, any death happens in the house after all the all the ceremonies related to the death is finished, then you do a punya vachakam. The last ceremony of that is punya vachakam, cleansing. So this chanting that I do as I walk is cleansing all of Tampa.
Wow.
This cleansing all of Tampa. It is going to Gayatri's house. And if it has enough energy, it will go to Shruti. If it has legs, it will go all the way to North America, all over USA. That is all I can do. With that intent, I chant that let it cleanse. Let this vibration go, and let this vibration, let the sutras vibration go and reach people, and let them get something in their heart to come and listen to this. Wake up to this reality. That's all I can do. Right?
That's very nice.
Hmm?
That's very nice, Kumarji. Like your the last thing you told, like chanting to Tampa, Odessa, everywhere, and it's kind of I can see the passion and passion in you. Like your
That's all I can do. That's all I can do. That's all an instrument has to do. Karana. Correct?
correct.
Samadhi bhavanatah klesha tanu karana artah cha. Klesha tanu. Tanu means the body. Klesha we know. The body filled with kleshas, using that as an instrument, karana. Using that as an instrument to do what? To samadhi bhavanartha. Samadhi bhavanartha. That is understanding the state of samadhi and being able to connect.
You want to have lunch?
So all the way in life, we are only a karana, we are only an instrument. So be an instrument. When I'm walking, I'm an instrument. I'm here, I'm an instrument. When I'm cooking, I'm an instrument. So while walking, so as an instrument, yeah, I have memorized some sutras. Okay. Instead of singing some film songs or whatever or something else, I might as well say the sutras to cleanse Tampa, to send these vibrations. Who knows? In about 100 years, 50 years, 60 years time, everybody will be chanting in this neighborhood. We'll be chanting Patanjali Yoga Sutras. I might have left that much of vibrations. Not only in Tampa, I'm talking whole of Tampa and whole of Florida. And many others like Tammy, Madhavi, everybody is chanting. So the whole of USA will be chanting. So on that note,
Umar, I'm back to listen to your lecture.
you want to listen to my?
I'm back.
Oh, I saw you. I saw you coming in.
Yes.
You came for the last but good piece.
Yeah, correct.
Shruti asked a beautiful question about Om, and then we came all the way. We went back and
Very
forth.
nice.
Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you. I'll see you next week. Next week, I'll be on.
I am also chanting this Samadhi Pada to make Mumbai pure.
Make whole of India vibrate.
I do chanting when I cannot sleep at night. I will do this one line chanting and I always fall asleep. I also chant when I'm stressed. I don't know how to stop the stress, so I start chanting.
Yes.
Yes. Wonderful.
I'm not chanting it, but I'm playing the record done by Purna.
Very nice. Anything. Actually, you can inside as you just one sutra. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha.
Yeah, that is the one thing I remember now.
Huh?
That is the one sutra I remember. Like
Internally, for you it's not a problem. If you are unable to fall asleep or if you are stressed, you just keep chanting the sutra. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha.
Mm. Yes.
And there is also a pranayama called Ujjayi pranayama. If you do that Ujjayi pranayama also, you can fall asleep.
Yes. I have done that in Dr. Rajan's
Yes.
class. Okay.
Do whatever comes naturally to you. So I chant this many sutras many times a day. Even while sitting, sometimes while sitting I'll just chant myself. Sometimes loud also. Loud meaning I'll chant like right now. I'll be chanting yoga, chitta vritti nirodha. That's where I will start. I will actually start saying Atha Samadhipadah, Atha Yoga Anushasanam, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, Tada Drashtuhu Swarupe Avasthanam, Vritti Sarupyam Itaratra, Vrittayah Panchatayah Klishtaha Aklishtaha. I have my own tune. I will do that. Like all these Vedic Pandits. So I'll do that. So who is going to invite me to their house in Tampa or anywhere in USA to chant? I'm just kidding.
No, I will invite you, Kumarji.
You are
We are
welcome
just
to my home, sir.
2-3 signals away.
I
You can
don't
easily come.
actually I don't need invitation. If I have to come, I'll just get crushed. You don't know about me, Gayatri, enough. If I have to be there, I'll get crushed.
Yeah, I don't like. I always invite, even they are crashing or invited. I'll be ready to invite anyone.
Okay, namaste everyone. Akka, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Kumar.
So Dr. Rajan has started in India. He's doing a session every day, evening starting 5:30 to 7 every day. It started about a few days back. So people in India can make use of this. It is free, like here. It's free, and Dr. Rajan himself is conducting that class. So people will greatly benefit. If you have relatives, friends in India, please tell them to join that class and attend that class on a regular basis. Is best if they attend on a regular basis, changes will happen.
Kumarji, hello, Kumarji.
Yeah.
I did not know you were teaching Hatha Yoga also. Do you still teach, or is there any
I stopped long back.
the reason, Kumarji?
Mm.
What is the reason?
What is the reason? Because
Y-
plenty of people are teaching Hatha Yoga, so I didn't need it. That was one. And I was actually teaching in a place called what is it called? John Knox Village on Fletcher.
I say, I
Physically,
am.
I used to go there physically and teach. And then at COVID time, everything was closed. So that's when all these online things came. That's how Life in Yoga came. So with Life in Yoga, I didn't feel any necessity for me to go anywhere. And anybody who says, when are you starting a new class? I will say, oh, new class is already there. Both morning and evening it is there. You join. This is the link.
Do you practice Hatha Yoga for
Yeah.
yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to find a good place to learn. Is there anything that you can suggest for Hatha Yoga?
Life in Yoga.
Like that is chair yoga, right? Like what they
No.
do?
Morning session is not chair yoga.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, they don't give certification. So if you're looking for a certification, is that what you're doing with the hours?
Uh, no, I'm not looking for certification, but that's not a bad idea to Tammy.
Mm. Well, you only need that if you want to like teach somewhere in the public. But for the morning yoga, in that meditative, clean the nadis, all the chitta, all of that, move it through the body, all that happens with life in yoga. Dr. Rajan's team is very trained and his energy, so um, I'm almost thinking to do the India class in the morning if I can't make it at nighttime, because I know there's sometimes I can't make the America nighttime time, you know. But anyway, yeah, Kumar used to teach hatha. I call it like a lead. I call it leading yoga, but he used to lead for Rajan's team in the morning. He's led at our retreats, and Kumar even had this Yoga Sutra in the same style that Rajan did, except it went over more months than Rajan did for 15 minutes. Was it after class? I think it was after class, right?
After class, yeah. Only one sutra a day, but only one sutra a day.
Yeah, and it was nicer. Or it was nice because you got to go into the whole day. It's like today, I get to live in the sutras that we talked about. But also the way Rajan did it, he did it before class. So then for me, my experience was churning what I learned in that beginning of, so all through the whole hour and a half, it puts your mind on other things, which is still thought. I totally get that. But you get to ask questions. And then when you get into your samadhi at the end, which now I'm feeling like I have to like pick layers of which it is, but you get into your samadhi, you get answers to some of those questions that you just asked instead of your mind going all over about dinner and what happened all day and all that stuff. So there's so much benefit in this life in yoga. And granted, I'm a disciple of the magic and the power of when we get out of our own way, finding the path. And he has um, a really good prescription for how to get out of our way. And he's using yoga and letting everybody do it their own way. Just bringing that one place. Anyway, I ramble. Thank you.
No, you're good, Tammy. Yeah.
Okay.
A good ramble.
All right. Yeah. So, guys, or Ashwini, yeah, it's the showing up, man. It's not even like showing up for yoga. It's showing up for yourself. If you think of it that way, what would your future self thank you for? And that's how I get myself to show up is, okay, my future self is thanking me for this, and then something will happen and I'll be like, oh, thank you. So like my future self is like, this is so convenient. I can't believe I know this now, or this happened. I don't know. It's being in that self-awareness because it was something I wouldn't have been aware of otherwise in my autopilot with all the chitta vrittis and all that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I do feel that I should give more time, but then there are a lot of buts and ifs. I'll get there slowly, making that progress, and then also I'm not beating myself up. I'm just prioritizing for the day, but I'm trying as much as possible as to take myself out of the autopilot mode and be in that awareness consciously, and that has given me a kind of contentment and also the bliss that you know, of just being aware, and then very grateful and thankful for every instrument in this path, and then for the divine, obviously.
Very nice.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
That little voice that says, I should, it's the part of discerning the voices, right? Is this one really important or is this one really important? So when we have like 100 million things that we should do, which voice is the one guiding you to come to what you need to do. And maybe that is your future self. Maybe that's your higher self. Maybe that's God. Maybe, so sometimes we overrun and tell God, no, I'm going to do this, which we have full choice to do that. However,
True.
when you really want to do something, we're in that space, that sine wave is still like super high, like this, even just in life to commit to something, right?
True.
And as you come in, all that stuff starts to get more clear. And you're like, well, why am I doing that? What the heck is that? Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's not in my nature to do anything for myself or prioritize myself. No matter what, I'm just being here and showing up. And then, I think I'm not doing a favor for myself, but that's out of character for me. And it's a baby steps towards, you know, the future.
Like I said, my first exposure to Patanjali Yoga Sutra was a disaster. It was a big flop.
Mm. Yeah.
And probably I attended that class only because my earlier guru said, "What is this, Kumar? You are a yoga teacher and you don't know Patanjali Yoga." Actually, he took me to task. That's why I attended the first Patanjali Yoga Sutra class. In fact, he insisted that I um, read and understand. And he knew Dr. Rajan, so he said, "You have a great person right there. Why don't you arrange a class? Why don't I invite him to Tampa?" That's how I invited Dr. Rajan. The very first class itself, I organized that at um, uh, Anita's studio. Anita was also part of that. Myself, Dawn, and Anita, all three. Dawn, uh, Dawn was not there, I think. Maybe Dawn was not there. Yes, Dawn was not introduced to Dr. Rajan at that time. So it was Anita. Anita knew him. So Anita and myself. But I took the lead because my guru pushed me. He said, "What is this? You are a yoga teacher and you don't know Yoga Sutras. I don't even teach Hatha Yoga, but I know the Yoga Sutras." That's what my gurus told me. He has studied. He has studied. But um after coming here and learning this from Dr. Rajan, it's a big eye opener. It's a huge eye opener. Life opener, I would say.
Yeah, agree. Do we still have that spring retreat planned out? The dates are not out. Is it?
Yeah, I'm still dragging my feet on that. Let me see.
Okay, okay. Forward to it.
Okay, people. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you
Thank
next week.
you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Bye.
Thank you.